So here in a lot of sports, I'm James Lott JR, the lot with two T's. We talk about all kinds of stuff on here. And this is something that we're gonna be a little more serious this time. We've had some lighthearted talks on 80s baseball, all kinds of things like that, and my cousin Ronnie and all that. But we're about something that's actually it's really serious and it affects, I mean, I would say any sports, and then even outside of it a little bit when it comes to concussions and brain injuries. And as many of you know, I'm a former nurse. So I do know a little bit of something about this, and I've had talks with this before. But I have someone who's going to share actually a little bit of his personal story about this and what he is doing to help this community that needs help. Because seriously, we have injured players who are retired and are just seriously having lots of problems. This person with me, I'm going to say this, Team USA. I mean, this is a true legend, Bobsledder athlete, and he's had some tough times personally and mentally. And he is strong. He is thriving. Let's get that out there, folks. Not just surviving, he is thriving. And he's here to share light on one of his missions, which is to get a CTE recovery center. He wants to give back, which is, I mean, he gave to the USA. He wants to give back, which I support that completely. We're talking some low points, and he is sitting here in front of me. It's my honor, William Person. Hi, William.
Oh man, how you doing? Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
First of all, I want to say Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Absolutely.
26. I always like to say this. So I don't do goals resolution. I don't do resolutions. I have goals. I don't do resolutions. I just do like I just kind of pick a word or two for myself and go, that's gonna be my through line for the year. If I were to ask you right now, pick a couple of words for 2026 that would apply to you and what you want, what those words would be.
Ooh, oh man. Transparency.
Ooh,
100% transparency.
that's
Yeah, that's a mouthful for me right now.
that's a good one. And that's
Yeah.
just a part of your mission, but also we need that period
Yeah.
these days. We need that. Um,
Yeah. And think about it. Even in America, as of right now, as educated as we are, most people around here, we don't even know if we have aliens walking around with us. Like, where's the transparency? What you mean you can't tell me the truth?
right.
Like, are they here? Or they not here? Like, But I'm just saying, it was so we're lied to and manipulated so bad. We're like
Yes.
we don't know our origins. We gotta get information when somebody writes it in a book, and then you don't know if that book is real. Like we have some scary times. It's scary times.
I will even say transparency in allowing the public to see things,
Absolutely.
get parts of pictures. And one of the things that this is a lot on sports, so we're talking sports related.
Hmm.
It's still we don't see it that often until it's like really later when an athlete is really struggling after they played. We hailed them. I'm a Steelers fan. So I mean, I'm my Steelers and all that stuff. They retire. The players rotate off. They retire. We hear nothing about them ever again until it's like
Yeah.
so and so died at 55 from a head. Like we don't hear that they're struggling because they played really hard and they were so good, but they were knocked around with by 300-pound men for 11 seasons, 10 seasons, 8 seasons. We don't hear what happens afterwards, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's by design.
You get
That's
parts,
really by design. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. They don't want this information out there. They don't want the American public to be disgusted by it, because when people get disgusted and we stand together, and that's when things change. And that's going to cost people a lot of money. That's a lot of money to make changes and to fix sports and address some of these issues. And it's really a resource thing. They don't want to spend the money.
Which
That's what I've learned.
we're gonna just go deep now. I don't no. I mean, how do I phrase this? I understand, but I don't understand. Um, because you're right, it's money. These people who you claim to love when they're on your team, working for you, earning you money, so I get any
Yeah,
closer to the screen, and make you famous and rich and have those houses and everything. But then you don't take care of them afterwards.
absolutely not. They don't. I'm personally in court right now. I filed a class action to see. First of all, the truth is, let me give you a little background before we start there. I filed a class action because my one of my teammates called me. Like back in the day, I did this movie called Jerry Maguire. I was doing like, if you if you see a person running on the screen real fast, they hired me to play 5 characters. I was just running on the screen to
Oh, funny. Oh,
make it. Yeah, yeah. I was a 4.23 40 guy, so I was really fast 40 meters runner. So they brought me in just to make it look like they had some real athletes on the field. So it was my background. So I had a teammate of mine when I left Team USA. I went back to Hollywood, and so he wanted to be a writer. So he will call me with these crazy ideas of movies I've never seen before. Like I'm like, man, that's gonna be brilliant. I'm teaching them how to put this in format for to sell it and get it proper, you
yeah.
know. And so these were random phone calls. So the very last time he called me, he was speaking this gibberish, like this weird language or gibberish. I don't know what he was saying. And so my background is I used to own treatment facilities and I used to run some. And so I know he needed help. And I told myself every day, I got to get this guy some help, right? Eventually, I got the word that he went to his family's factory. And because when he called me, I didn't understand. He got so frustrated, he hung up on me. He's like, so he went to his family's factory and he hung himself. And man, the guilt hit me so hard. Like I knew, like I felt like my hands was so dirty because I didn't do anything to help my friend. And it took for his autopsy report to come out to show he was in stage 4 of CTE before I realized I couldn't help him because I had a little apartment up here in Tarzana, right? At one point, I had taken the mattress off my box spring. I put it in the living room and put it in the floor. And that's where I was living at because it put me closer to the kitchen, the restroom, and the front door. And I was struggling. I didn't like every day. My teammates are dying; they're killing themselves. My driver from the World Championships and all the Olympic Games since 2003, Stephen Holcomb, he killed himself at the training center. My other teammate, who I just told you about, killed himself at his family's factory. There's others, and I'm seeing this stuff going on. I know I'm seeing it going on, but I'm not connecting my injuries to what they're going through. I thought I had diabetes because I was cloudy and it looked
Oh,
like low blood sugar. It started looking like low blood sugar. I know a lot of people with diabetes and low blood sugar. I know what that looks like.
yeah.
I got it because every morning when I wake up, I got a thermos of coffee or Coca-Cola sitting on my nightstand or on the
Oh,
floor. And then once I drink that, if I didn't have it, I'm not getting out the bed till 3 o'clock.
right.
But so in the morning, I wake up, I take some sips of that. I'm up. Now I automatically know I don't know what day it is. So I know I don't know it. I stepped in that hole so many times.
Wow.
So I
Yeah.
had a little blue book on the stand. I pick it up. Okay, today is Monday. Then I had to figure out what month we in. I always thought it was January or August. Even to this day, it's January or August. I
I wonder
just
why those two. I wonder why January. Okay, maybe why August?
I don't know.
Okay.
But also when I left Team USA, I won my last U.S. national championship. I was 36 when I left the sport. I turned 37 that summer. Now I came back to LA. People ask me, "Oh, how old are you?" I'm automatically saying 28. And then I'm walking away. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm doing the math. Like, I'm not 28, I'm 40. Like, why do I keep saying that? Like, so the symptoms was kicking in on me.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest ones was like, man, I hadn't been back in Utah in a while. So I went back to see some friends. I always kept a little apartment there. So we went to go shoot some pool. And my buddy was like, hey man, it's your girlfriend coming in over there, your ex-girlfriend. And I looked over, I was like, she's pretty, but I don't know her. And she ran over and she jumped in my arms and I caught her, man. And I was like, uh-oh, I guess I do know her. But I would always rationalize. I was like, oh, I have so many different pockets of
I
friends.
was
And
gonna say.
I
Okay.
just, or really at that time, I was ripped to shreds. I'm 218. I'm like 4%, 5% body fat. Oh, the lady's lovely athlete. Your mind is just telling you all this
Yes.
BS just so you can keep surviving and moving forward.
Yes.
But like I was waking up middle of the night. I don't know where I'm at. So once again, I rationalized. I was like, you know what? I travel so much. Every 7 days, I'm in a new country. That's what this is. I just travel so much. I'm living my best life. But no, man, those the red flags, and I
But let's
ignored it.
stop there for a second because that's really real. I want people to understand that any kind of thing, there's we find out later, you go, there's things we do write off because we get a little older or we're super busy or you're spinning 5 plates in the air. And sometimes it is those things. I want people to know sometimes it is just that you're tired and you have been to 5 countries in the last 2 weeks and you don't know what the jokes are when people go on stage. Hello, Milwaukee, and they're like, we're in St. Louis. You're like,
Right.
it's like that happen, like that does happen sometimes. However, comma, sometimes it is indicative of something more serious. Um,
Yeah.
I guess for you, you're thinking, well, I mean, I don't feel crazy. Like you don't feel super. sick. You just feel like, I mean, you're foggy. Like you said, it's a fog. You're just thinking, oh,
Yeah.
well, what does that mean?
But it also felt like I was drunk.
Okay.
Sometime the ground in front of me would be doing this.
Wow.
And so yeah, it was no mistaking what was going on. I just wasn't sharp enough anymore to connect those dots because my days started random. And so eventually those random days turned into random days of clarity. And it was so slow. So by the time it got me, it was too late. And I couldn't come out of it.
Have you talked to anybody from that time period who knew you? Do they remember? Do they tell you like you were acting weird or anything? Do they say anything to you?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm always acting weird anyway. Like I was that comedian, I was that kid in class having fun and never disrespectful, but just entertainer. I just come from that environment, and so nobody really was connecting them, and even when I started sharing my issues, like nobody believed it, nobody understood it, and that also, like somebody told me, like, man, you've always been our superhero. Like we just couldn't have we didn't believe how could you go down like if
Right.
you didn't have a chance how we gonna have a chance that's how it was explained to me and I was like oh I get it now but yeah.
So you have to explain to me because I don't know much about. Yeah, I saw Cool Runnings. I don't know much about bobsledding. It looks fun. It goes really fast. That's all I know. So, how did you get your concussions? I'm just kind of curious. Like, how did that? I don't know how you. I don't know. How do you get them?
Well, there's different parts of the sport that damage you for bobsledding. One, like my first World Cup race was in St. Moritz, Switzerland, right before 2002 Winter Olympics. We had a nasty crash. One of my teammates was knocked unconscious. I had vertigo, and they all they did was send us back to the hotel and told us watch each other, don't go to sleep for the first few hours. Yeah, that was the only treatment I ever received for a concussion.
Hey,
And
wait a minute, because I want. I don't know if I know the listeners and watchers are probably thinking what I'm thinking. I'm like, so you're at the Olympic, the actual Olympics, right?
we're racing World Cup at this time.
Okay, okay. Well, they're not World
Yeah,
Cup.
World Cup.
Big.
Yeah,
World Cup. So folks that know World Cups are big too. You can break
yeah,
it there and it counts. Okay.
yes, yeah,
Okay. I just want to make sure I'm really getting this. You were at the World Cup
yeah.
in a first world European country. Make sure that's correct, right?
Same Moritz, Switzerland.
Okay. I'm
Yeah.
trying to connect the dots here. They did not treat they. Oh my god! I'm trying to figure this out. They did not take you to an infirmary, and they just said go back to your. We'll just get back to your room. Don't fall asleep. That's it. There was no doctor that came out to follow up with you. Nothing.
No, no. And this happened for 9 years. I did it for 9 years. So I took between 1 to 6 rides a day, 4 to 5 months of the year, 3 to 5 days a week. So, and what I know about the sport now, okay, they lied to us. They told us we're only pulling 4 to 5 G forces, right? So one time we had these fighter pilots come out, and so we took them on a VIP ride. They the only ones that pull the same G forces, which means like you see them flying this way, then you see them do the bank turns.
Yeah.
When that happens, all the blood from your head leaves. It just goes,
I know.
yeah, yeah. And so we took them down the track, right? On that day, I did 7 rides, and that's what stands out to me. They did one smooth ride, and they were rattled. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, you guys pull. I'm thinking they pull 15, 20 G's.
Yeah.
We're only pulling 4 or 5. How could they be rattled? And so an article came out called Sledhead, written by the New York Times. They tested the track in Calgary where they shot the movie Cool Runnings,
Mhm.
and there were spikes of that track of 84.5 G forces.
Oh dang!
Yeah. Now think about it. The space shuttle pulls 3 Gs. Fighter pilots only pull 6 maximum.
Right,
And we're pulling 84.5. Like something is wrong. That's why everybody's sick. I'm not the only one.
right.
It is a global issue. It's going on all around the world. It's not just here. I'm the only one just really
Talking about it.
speaking about it. And yeah, yeah.
Oh wow!
Asking for
See, I know. See again, I had no idea. But I'm going to go back to you're at the World Cup in a first person nation there for a reason, and they don't send any medical help, like real medical help, to check you out.
no.
Even
Matter
a
of fact,
flashlight in the eye to see if
oh yeah, yeah. No, there was a paramedic there. They did. That was the only time I remember being checked. But there was a paramedic. They looked at me. They said, said you have a concussion, which I knew. I couldn't see, I
Where?
couldn't look out the lights, and that was it.
But
So
they didn't
EMT,
say, like,
EMT, there were EMTs there. That's what I mean. EMT
but the
people.
point is, they didn't say you have a concussion, MF, or don't go out back out there. You don't do nothing, or it's time for us to send you somewhere serious to recover and then send you back home. They didn't do that. Nothing like that.
No, because every other time that happened, you know what? I went back to the top of that mountain and went down again. Same day.
Oh my God.
Same within hours. Matter of fact, it backfired on me one time. Altenburg, Germany.
Yeah.
My driver crashed me, went back to the top of that mountain. Within an hour, he crashed me a second time. And they wanted me to go a third time, but I was like, I can't do a third one. We got to alternate for a reason. You need to
I
let
was
him
thinking
earn
that's
his
all. I was
money.
thinking that's all today. So you got so were you so you there's times you were the driver too, right? It was like with
No,
three.
I've
Oh,
never driven a bobsled.
oh,
Yeah.
so you're a certain position. I'm
I'm
learning.
I'm usually what they call a brakeman. I'm the guy all the way in the back.
Oh, okay, okay, that
Yeah.
makes sense. Okay, so you guys are back, but they switched around people in front of you, right? Kind of.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was curious. So you were the okay. You're a brakeman.
I mean, there's been times I rode in the second and third spot, but usually I'm all the way in the back. I'm usually the fast guy.
Okay. You mentioned your fastness. Okay, that's okay. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm learning about bob. I told you, I said I saw cool runners, and I don't really know about bobsledding, so I'm learning about this. It's a fascinating sport to watch. I watched it when I watched the Winter Olympics, and
Yeah.
I seriously did not see. I did not know. Besides, yes, there's you can have injury in any sport. You can walk outside.
Yeah.
I should
Absolutely.
know that concussions can happen. I did not know that. I think it would be really hard for that. But I guess yes, you're clearly so you decided when to actually go get checked out because like the rest of us, people at home to know, we're thinking we're self-diagnosing kind of. We're like, oh, I'm just tired. I'll get some more sleep, or I'm just thin. I mean, you do all this other, but then at some point, you must have been like, this is not working.
I've been seeing doctors for years. I thought it was diabetes because it looked like the low blood sugar. And they kept telling me I was wrong.
They say
You know?
they did tell you were wrong, or they were telling you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, then what were you
I'm,
thinking?
I said, your test must be too sensitive. Because I know what this is. I've seen diabetics my whole life. I know what that is. You
Interesting.
know, I know what low blood sugar look like. And yeah, but no, man, they
I mean, yeah,
let me
there are some
drink.
quacks out there. There are some quacks, but if these people are telling
Uh,
you they're not quacks, they're telling you, and you're like, no, we're not doing this. So then, okay, so after a while, you realize. So when did you realize it's not that? I should be
oh, okay. So doing COVID, like I said, I'm in Tarzan. I'm lost in my own community. I'm stuck in my house a lot of the days because I'm too cloudy. I'm living on the floor. My teammate just called me, killed himself. I couldn't connect them dots, but I knew I was in trouble. I didn't even know I was in dementia. I didn't even know I was depressed, even though I was praying for death every day. I didn't know I was depressed. So when my buddy called me, a lot of things happened at once. I just knew I was in trouble, so I bought a house near my family in the Midwest, and so it was a young lady I was just started dating in California. So I would come back and forth. I see her, or she come see me. And so I'm doing COVID. I'm at her place in Cali, and she from New York, man. And her family, it's a bunch of women. They really talk a lot every day. And and I always say, man, I think they were all born with megaphones in their throats because man, they was talking so loud, it was just killing me. And so one day I told her, I was like, babe, listen, I said, I really appreciate you. I love you. I said, but we have to do something different. I can't take this noise. I said, I can't tell you to be quiet in your own house.
right.
I'm going back to my little lake house and give me some peace and quiet. And so while I'm over there, a couple things happened. The article sled here from the New York Times showed up. When that article showed up, it talked about my teammates who took their lives. Some of them, they didn't talk about all of them. It talked about a lot of the symptoms. Some guys had Parkinson's, seizures, strokes,
Oh,
things like that. Dementia, which I was in dementia at the time. I
yeah.
didn't know it, but yeah. And so I'm reading all this stuff, and I get on my knees and I thank God all the symptoms miss me. I took the same article, sent it to my girlfriend. She circled some stuff, and the first thing that popped out was noise sensitivity.
Oh, oh, that's
And
right.
I went, oh. And I
Yeah.
went back, I look at that list, man. Now I about lost it because now my boogeyman, he now has a name. Now I know what this is. And
Yes.
at that same time, my teammate who just had just killed himself, his autopsy report came out. He was in stage 4. And I started calling my other teammates I hadn't talked to in years, and I shared that article with them, and they was like, "No, but all the symptoms miss me too." And then since we hadn't talked in years, we spent an hour on the phone, and now they're telling me all these bizarre stories, all of them, and it was just the weirdest thing, one by one. And I said, "Listen, take that article, share it with your loved one, and if y'all feel a need to call me back, call me back." And my phone rang every single time, and I was just like, "Yeah, guys." And then I told them, "Yeah, this is what I saw. This is what you told me. This is not normal. You know, what you doing with that flak jacket on? You live in society here. It was a lot of things that stuck out to me. And now here I am trying to save my community. And the truth was, like when I left the sport, I was there for 9 years, but I'm kicking myself right now. Like, uh, how do I put this nicely? When I was competing, like I would still go to high schools and go to different places in the communities and talk to, a black community.
Yes.
And the ones that really got me was the kids, but these adults, these older, elderly people.
Yeah.
They were they came to me, they were like, "We didn't know we can do things like this. You're on the team, and they're watching me on TV, they're following my career. Before I go to St. Louis, they advertised me a month ahead of time before I come in town. I mean, these are people really following me. And when I came home to St. Louis, I went back to they gave me, I don't know if it was a proclamation or a resolution. It was like you get your own day, city day. And I announced my retirement that day.
Oh,
And then all these prominent black people, and they was just like, "We didn't know we can do these things." Like, no, you can't quit. And I was dealing with a lot of racism up there, man. Like it's just a ton of racism. And I said, well, if I'm going to be encouraging people, inspiring people to go out there, I don't want them going into what I went into. So I stuck around. This was in 2003 when I announced that retirement. I stuck around to 2007. So 4 more years I was there just trying to, knock a hole in the racism part of it.
right.
And the truth was, I didn't do a good job because I still was dealing with all the things that they were doing to me. And as a matter of fact, they finally got in trouble in 2022 for the complaints I filed with the USOC in 2002, 2003.
20 years later.
Yeah, and I have it in writing now. Matter of fact, when I first started, I got to Lake Placid. They told me it's the good old boy system here, but it's getting better. And I didn't believe him because at that time, the truth is, my ex-girlfriend she was the number one hurdler for Germany. So I was traveling with the German Olympic team.
Yeah.
I showered with the German Olympic team.
Oh, yeah,
I ate dinner with the German Olympic team. So how could racism still be on the American
oh,
Olympic
yeah.
team? I didn't believe it. I was like, oh, no. But
Right.
I quickly found out and they were telling me the truth. So these new audits, they were audited by outside company in 2022. Somebody called me and told me about it and sent me the findings. And it actually mentions the words good old boy system in the audit. And then there was an updated one 6 months ago, and it still mentions the word good old boy system. So when I left the sport, I never talked about bobsled anymore. I just kind of left with my tail between my legs because I know they mistreated me so many times, and I uh, I just buried that part of my life. I forgot about what they did to me. I really forgot.
Hmm.
And then when you take these symptoms and add them in there,
Yeah.
memory was already gone.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. Remember, yeah, it's totally compromised. It's totally compromised.
yeah, yeah.
That's crazy. So, okay. So there were times you talk about this. I saw a lot. You talk about this because of the CTE and stuff. You felt suicidal. You mentioned a second ago. You're
No, I was beyond suicidal. I
well,
was begging for death.
that's so, and that was truly because of your. People realize our brain is so complex, so that what was happening to your brain was causing this effect, wasn't it?
Yes, I know that now. And also, I think the medical community has it wrong. These are not mental health issues. These are physical injuries.
Right.
And because every injury I've ever had, I've competed from 11 years old till I was 36.
Wow.
It didn't matter injury, there was a treatment plan.
Right.
You
Right.
got and every injury you get a soft tissue, there's a inflammation that comes there.
Yes.
How do they remove it from the brain? They don't. They allow it to just sit there. And that's what the problem is. Yeah.
Yeah. Got a
So
friend who has an aneurysm right now. It's just sitting there. They said it's not. gonna burst anytime soon. They don't think, and I'm like, you can't just take it out. I mean, I don't know what's going on.
You have an aneurysm sitting there?
Not me. A friend of mine does.
Oh, for see, and that's every time I get these migraines, that's my because some of my teammates had aneurysms and stuff too. So when I get those migraines, the vertigo kicks in. That's the one condition I'm afraid it's gonna take next. And so man, I try to just relax as much as I can and just avoid
I was,
those.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
so in the meantime, what do you do to help counter any of those side effects that are happening for you?
there's only one treatment that I found that works,
Okay.
and that came from Joe Namath. Man, it's a hyperbaric oxygen chamber. Matter of fact, that's what's behind me right here. That's the chamber behind me.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
It's
I see.
kind of blurred. Yeah, man, I was in that thing for 1 hour, and it took 10 years of cloudiness off me. And
So,
yeah,
so
yeah.
what's it supposedly do?
Well, it makes your body believe it's at least a minimum of 9 feet underwater, and so when that happens, your blood is more like a gas, and so it can go through and get through every blockages that you have. It can send blood and oxygen everywhere. So I used to do some work, uh, help Jamie Foxx on a few of his stuff, and a few years ago it was rumored that he had a stroke.
Right.
And as soon as that happened, I called into the camp. I said, "Hey," I said, "First of all, don't tell me if he had a stroke. I don't want to be responsible for the leak."
Right.
I said, "But if he did," I said, "check the hyperbaric oxygen. It will reverse the symptoms."
Wow.
And I'm not sure if he did it or not. I'm not even sure if he actually had a stroke. I don't know what he had, but I did. Like those are the things that this thing does.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, so every time I get in this machine, it's called a dive, right?
Okay.
So a few weeks ago, it was about a month ago, I was interviewed by some of these. It was a military group out of no, not the Ukraine, the UK.
Okay.
They can't deep sea dive over there.
Oh,
So, but they're veterans. So a lot of this stuff is a veteran issue too. So,
yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
okay, so our veterans over here they commit 6,400 suicides a year, right?
Yeah, no, yeah, that's a
Yeah,
whole.
there's another 5,000 they don't tell you about. They overdose.
I believe that.
And so if you overdose, even if you leave a suicide note, they don't count that. But that's 11,000 people, right? So this is going on in all the countries. They ain't just here.
No.
And so what they do in the UK, they take their people out to this island in the Bahamas because you can't deep sea dive too far in the UK. And so these guy was telling me this story. He's like, they go down to the ocean and they stay down there for a really long time. And when they come back up, like after about 2 weeks of this, they're healed. Like, and I was getting goosebumps because they're actually doing naturally what my machine behind me is simulating.
Right.
And those are the only two treatments I've heard of or found that, like, I couldn't speak anymore. Like, I got to the point where I could barely form sentences, my words. Some days, if I stop using this thing, like, my speech will start to slur again. And that's one of my symptoms. Like, I know what that means. And I make sure, like, sometimes I try to take a break and see if how far I am with it. Because a lot of people get permanent relief. But I think because I had 9 years of damage, I get that it's permanent only if I stay in that machine. Yeah.
Well, okay. So I've heard about these machines, and of course, famously, certain actors are like, "Oh, they have one of these to sleep, and I feel better." But you're saying, practical wise, it is helping you out. It is completely helping you out.
I don't take any meds.
Okay.
I can talk. A couple years ago, we couldn't have this conversation.
Wow.
I was gone, brother. I was gone. And like I said, I was praying for death every single day. And the only reason I didn't take my life, I was a counselor and I used to own treatment facilities. And I taught people this one little stupid trick. I said, man, what's the rush? If suicide is a good idea today, it'll be a good idea tomorrow. So reevaluate tomorrow. So the next day comes, you're still having a bad time. And guess what? Still there's no rush.
Right.
Today's a good day to do it. Tomorrow, so it always lets you move it. So that stayed in my mind. At the same time, I've seen suicidal, and I know the trauma, at least for the family, and I couldn't do that to my family,
Yeah.
and that's the only reason I stuck it out. And then that chamber showed up, and then man, my life changed, and I've been trying to pay it forward ever since. Like I help people all the time. I don't charge a cent. This is not. Matter of fact, I'm opening up a free CTE wellness center in St. Louis,
Okay.
and it's free. It's gonna be free. Like I got investors calling me like, "Hey, let's make a lot of money off it." I said, "You can do that over there."
Right.
I said, "Mine is gonna be free."
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so I'm a 501(c)(3). That's what we're doing now, raising funds for that. And I even got a crowdfunding out there. Whatever we can do to get these machines that we need.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, it's a beautiful thing.
Get the machines from folks. Whoever's in charge.
Yeah, and we'd be open to the public. Yeah, trust me, I was in dementia. We're gonna be open to the public. So think about it. How many of your loved ones go through that dementia phase?
Oh, several.
Alzheimer. Man, matter of fact, check this out. Like when I came out of dementia, so I didn't know I was in there. When I came out, I was like, holy, wait a minute. I
Right.
was in dementia. And so I went to the people who manufacture, sell these things. And I thought I had made a discovery that nobody knew about. And I was about to just be famous, right? I made this discovery.
Yes.
I said, did you know this thing brought me out of dementia? And the guy went in his little drawer, pulled out this little piece of paper, and he popped it like, he said, you mean like this? Man, there's studies out there. People who have dementia, Alzheimer's, are already going through this stuff. If you have cancer, you see it on TV all the time. People always climbing these chambers now is reversing cancer. It's and it's like, how come the world doesn't know about this stuff? Why is it still so hidden from the brown communities and in the
Well,
poor communities?
we start on that too. I won't get too political on her or racial on her, but I do feel there's despairing information when it comes to certain communities. Some communities don't get everything, don't get all the information. And I know here in LA, especially, there's some I have people in the hospital world. Some of the hospitals get more stuff and have more machines and more things than other hospitals, even though the volume is the same, basically. It's just
Yeah,
the code is different.
yeah. But that like the insurance will pay for 14 things related to hyperbaric treatment. But the brain stuff is not one of them for some reason. But
Got it.
it's just like wow, like I couldn't form a sentence, and here I am. Like matter of fact, my last four court hearings, my law team has turned their back on us. Right? They're now standing with the defense. They put out an offer in January, $2.1 million, only to go toward the lawyers and to evaluate athletes only, no treatment at all. And I said, why would I sign? I'm the lead plaintiff. Why would I sign off on that? Like that's no. And so like they tried to bribe me, they tried to bully me. They've tried to do everything. So the last four court hearings, it's been myself standing against all these lawyers, the ones I hired and the ones that we were fighting against. And I'm just thinking, like, what happened here?
It's like a David and Goliath situation. You're David and you're fighting Goliath.
Yeah, but it gets worse. Like, you know who Robert Shapiro is?
Oh yeah, of course we do. Yes.
All right, I spoke to his office, right? I explained the situation. He was
He's here in LA.
appalled.
He's here in LA. Just want to tell you, he's here in LA.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He was appalled, right? He
Yeah.
said,
Right.
we had a few conversations, a few emails. And then he sent me an email. He said, Will, I fired your lead attorney. I kept your co-counsel because I know them, and we're gonna help you guys get the results you need, right? Now, only thing I requested was two simple things. Number one, warn that new generation before they ever get in that sled. Let them know what they're that's the transparency part. And number two, help the guys that need help. Because like I said, I thought I was going to be dying any day. So I didn't have any personal requests. I didn't ask you, give me a $5 million, give me a 30, give me some. I didn't ask for anything for myself. I said, help the people that need it. And so anyway, so Robert Shapiro, he says, yeah, I'm aboard. I got you guys. I got the email, guy. I got receipts. Everything I told you today, there's receipts for.
Okay.
So 24 hours later, he sends me another email. Well, I quit. Like, what? I said, you fired my lawyers. What do you mean you quit?
Right.
But that's this case got so ugly so quick, and somebody's getting to these guys. HBO Real Sports did an episode on us, right?
Oh, those are okay. Real sports. Yes.
It was a Winter Olympic CTE suicide episode, right?
Yeah.
I challenge any of your listeners to go and watch it. You can't. You can go on their server, you can find where it was at, but it's been scrubbed from the internet now. When New York Times put out an article about the fighter pilots, right? And they had the same symptoms as us. I took it to the courts, shared it. I'm trying to show people, I'm not trying to hurt anybody. I'm just trying to show there's a connection here.
Right.
And the last connection is gonna blow you away. But this connection, I'm showing. I took these guys on a bobsled ride before. I know why. I get it. It's the G forces guys. And so as soon as I took that to the court system, now that article was scrubbed from the internet. Yeah. But however, the New York Times gave me a personal link so I can share that article when I get need to and get ready. And I have copies. So those things are happening. And so there's there's a lot of big forces that are fighting me on this thing, and there's information coming out. And matter of fact, one of them is a producer who produced that CAA. He told me there's some big people out here who don't want this information coming out. And he put in quotation marks, this is not safe material. But the
And
truth of yeah, the truth is I warned him before when he first started talking to me about it. I said, listen, I might be paranoid right now. I don't know.
right.
Whistleblowers in America don't live long.
Uh,
And so yeah, but yeah, that's what I'm dealing with, man. It's
well, the thing is, you have to, kick down the doors and be the strong one to say, I'm going to lead the charge no matter what.
yeah,
A lot of those folks also get a little forgotten sometimes too, because they're the ones busy pushing and pushing, and the next person comes in and gets the glory sometimes.
yeah,
That's why I do these shows so people see he's been doing this folks for a while. So if anything good comes out of this, you can say, well, William was part of this a while back. He was pushing for this. There are people behind movements, and I'm trying to wrap. There's nothing, I guess there's something to wrap my head around, but I'm trying to wrap my head around this notion that you have these athletes who bring you all this money, bring the fans joy.
mhm,
Everybody won. Everybody won so far. And then when
yeah,
they start having problems, you're like, slice it off. That's it. Good luck to you. Then
yeah.
when they come and say, okay, let's nurture this person, let's help this person, give back what they gave because they gave to us. No one thinks that way. And,
No.
and to me, it's still money to be had and everything in there, but they still don't see it.
And that money, like I don't care if they gave me $20 million, it's
No,
not worth it.
right.
Any day you have a day where you lay on that floor and you're telling yourself, God, please come get me. It's not worth that money.
No,
There's no money that's worth that because you can't wipe that off.
no, you can't.
You can't wipe it off, man. It's but the most disturbing part is if you look at this is where I'm gonna have some more issues coming up because if you look at the mass shooting rate in America,
Oh, yeah.
31% since 2012 have been our veterans coming back and turning the guns on us and themselves.
Yeah.
30, that's 31%. And if you look at the rest of the people, most of them are compromised people who had head injuries. And so it's just like I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, is the world not seeing this? Or they not? But most of our shootings are, I believe, if they check the brains of those people, it's CTE in them brains.
Yeah.
Because I know what my brain was telling me. It was telling me, die, man, get out of here. You ain't gotta live like this. And then the other people who on the other side, they share with me. Their brain's telling them to kill. The brain is telling them to kill. Like one guy, he has a special therapist who's only there to keep him from murdering the people on his hit list. Like that's what this thing is, you know.
And I have a very strong affinity for veterans. I feel like you should get anything they want, including treatment
Yeah,
um, and respect. They should. They go through stuff that we can't even imagine. Many of us can't even imagine.
yeah,
And they have a lot of. And I've done shows on that too. I'm just a big. We need veteran advocacy, which you're doing sports advocacy. We need. I don't know. I look at it this way. Almost all of us love a sport.
yeah,
Almost all of us love to watch a sport. The Olympics, World Cups, all stuff, it's all the broader scale, but it's something that we all like to watch and be
yeah.
a part of and cheer on and talk shit about somebody and we was opponent. We're into it. You know this, we're into it. But I'm fine. But what you're saying to me is when I'm finding out also out there, that's entertainment.
Yeah,
Real life is a whole other story.
yeah.
That's
But
crazy. You
you
can't,
also there's a okay, and I also think the medical community has it a little bit wrong. They're saying it takes years of repetitive head injuries. Now, on my journey, I remember I met this one lady, and she was telling me she was frustrated with her doctors because they couldn't figure out what was wrong with her. She told me her symptoms. I was like, "Damn, that line up with us." Like, were you an athlete? She was like, "No." And there's a whole lot of women now who, when they die, they're checking their brains, right?
yep, yes, you know.
And they now they were battered wives. So CTE is in these women now. So it's not just athletes in our military. It's everybody who's had that head hit, and you sit around with that inflammation on the brain. It just, I think it's going to brew until it comes out, and then when it comes out, what is it going to? What are your symptoms going to be? That's what it boils down to. But it's not just the regular people.
No,
That's the That's the disturbing
Earlier, I
part.
said earlier ago, and also
Yeah.
regular folks. I mean, anyway, I
Yeah.
I had severe Bell's palsy in 2018. Mine lasted almost a year. So my face was paralyzed all day. And I was like, and that's why I learned about the brain, how complex
Yeah.
and delicate it is.
Yeah.
You found that out too. I mean, we're both people who are surviving that. I had brain fog and pain. My face was swollen, the whole thing, and face was droopy. So I don't play with the brain. That's what we don't play with the brain. It's something
Yeah.
that's it's as beautiful as it is complex, and we need to find people who are willing to look out for the brain and have professionals, medical professionals, with the latest technologies, latest to help people, help you guys, to help all of us out. We have
Yeah.
something happen because they're still playing sports, there's still Olympic teams, they're
Yeah.
still churning out people. We have to say, and I hate to say this, but I don't know what the percentages are, but some percentage of them are going to have the situation to them. That's just it's. You never go. I play sports lines. When you go to play sports, you don't think about these things. You just don't.
Yeah.
And then you wouldn't
Yeah.
play, right? You wouldn't play. I know some parents, that's so dangerous, but you're like, I'm young, I'm in shape. I mean, I played football in high school. So you just did that. I didn't do it as a career. It wasn't a career for me. I mean, I did it for fun.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that we don't think about this stuff. Um, but I'm glad we're thinking about it now because we say, okay, have your career, have a good time, but you may walk away scathed, not unscathed, but scathed. You may walk away with some type of brain function issue, motor skill issue, right? All those things.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's the one thing I tell people. Like when they go see doctors, and see, for me, doctors was checking me for years. They checked my blood so many times. They never checked my brain. But the problem is, even if they checked my brain, they weren't going to find, unless I had a massive brain bleed, they're not going to find that,
Right.
And so it's still invisible. But my thing is, if you've been around compromising stuff like concussion stuff,
Yeah.
and those issues show up, you should automatically go that way. And I learned this was a 10-year, like I can map it out now. I can see this. It's almost like it's predictable now at this point. And I've been making these crazy predictions online, showing people, and then and it plays out, and they're like, "Wow, how did you do that?" Like it's predictable.
Yeah.
It's very predictable now. Yeah.
You got it's already been almost an hour. I can't believe this. You'll have
Has
to,
it?
yes, you have to come back on again. You have to come back
Yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah.
You have to come back on again because I can do a 5 hour podcast. Nobody's gonna listen to it. They like
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
take little bites because I think this is ongoing. This is not just we ending the episode. It's not over. I mean, the shit's not over. It's still out there,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I think we've done a good job. It's letting people know from someone who knows
Yeah.
that I always say, and I say this on the show, and I will stand by this. Everyone should play a sport at some time. It teaches you so much about life, teaches you a lot
Yeah.
about yourself. And it's fun. You find a sport you like, it can be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It really can be. And I'm sure you loved bobsledding, didn't you? You loved it, didn't you?
I love track more. I was track guy first. So yeah. But I did love what
Like
I was doing.
like
Yes.
bobsledding
Yes,
now.
yes, yeah.
Yes. I guess my point is you ended up being good at, but you
Yeah.
also enjoyed it. And
Oh
well,
yeah. Oh yeah.
back to track is good also. But I'm saying that we all should play a sport, do something at some point.
Yeah.
But also remember that if you do it long enough or hard enough, or again, there could be some complications later, and we should have systems
Yeah.
in place.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. That's that whole transparency thing I'm talking about. It's just
In
my
place.
thing is people think like I didn't come in to destroy the sport. I
No,
just came in to warn the athletes. If I know that's somebody's child, man, I don't want nobody going through what my shoe steps are. I could look, my footsteps are horrible. Like if I know what this is and I don't say anything and I'm watching these people die behind me, like I'm part of that problem. I'm part of the responsibility there. And I even asked the judge, I said, Your Honor, there's a death trail, illness trail here. I said, if they know what's going on, they still refusing a warrant. Aren't they responsible for these deaths? Like that's how I look at it. Like that if you didn't know, that's one thing. If they're hiding it from you, something's wrong with this picture here. Like, why are they in charge? We need to, fix some things.
we do. That's what I'm saying. We need
Yeah.
to have a safe place for folks to land
Yes.
after something like this,
Yeah.
whether it's veterans or athletes or just anybody who's having a brain function issue. It should be a place where they can go, get treatment, get support. That's very important also. Um,
Yeah.
and because it's just the brain is a great thing. It is a great thing, and
Yeah.
also a delicate thing at the same time. So we have to be really careful what's rattling up there. And I want people out there to be just not really scared, but just be aware. Just be aware enough of, oh, my son did play sports. Maybe he was played sports in college or whatever, but he does seem a little different. Just
Yeah.
eyes open. Like keep your eyes open and kind of because
That's the answer.
right there you go.
Yes. That's the answer. Because you hear it every time somebody commits suicide or commits murder, they were just started not acting like themselves. But I promise you, they can't see it in themselves. So only that loved one is going to see it in them. And that's why it's so important. That's how I was saved. If it wasn't for my loved ones around me and me sharing what I could share, because we can't even put into words what we're feeling or what we're dealing with, because your brain can't doesn't allow you.
Right.
So this is a loved one thing, man. I have a TikTok channel just dedicated to people like that finding me, so I can teach them how not to step in the potholes I stepped in so many times. Like one of them, I bought four cars during COVID for some reason. Like what? Four cars? Like what was the point of? You know, it just you're not thinking clearly.
Oh, it couldn't go nowhere. You bought 4 cars, couldn't go nowhere.
Oh, I was getting rid of them one by one. Get another one. Get rid of that one. I had to get that. I had to have it. Why? I don't know. I think I just had to have it. Like I don't know. It was always a reason. It was always a reason, man. But it was irrational stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Folks, I will underneath the video or the audio, which one of you guys watch, I will put in links for him. Is it called Brain Injury Survival, your YouTube channel?
Uh, I think my YouTube it might just be under One Man with a Chamber. I believe it could be under that. Whatever my publicist sent
Oh,
over
yeah,
to
but
you.
they sent me a whole list of your stuff. One Man with
Okay.
a Chamber is Facebook for sure. It's on Facebook.
Okay.
Uh,
It's also my TikTok channel.
and it's his TikTok.
Um.
It is. Both of those are in his TikTok.
Yeah.
But it's showing your YouTube as Brain Injury Survival.
I'm not sure if I changed the name. It might still be that.
Okay,
Uh,
I'll make
I'm.
sure before I post it, you guys, I will check,
Yeah.
and I'll make sure you post. I want you to find him, and
Yeah.
well, I'm back on the show. I'm back on the show, talking more about this because this is an ongoing. Because I also want to hear what happens for you because you said you're in court. We want to find out what happens for you
Yeah.
as you go forward and see how that works. And folks, I just again, play sports. This show's all about sports. Play sports, have a good time. Be careful on some level, but you got to play sport. But also for all the folks who are watching this show who have people who play sports, look out for them. Just look out for them, and just
And it,
please,
and
please.
that big thing is if you got to bring me back on. But for example,
I do. I can call. We go on forever. I can go on forever. Yes, go ahead. Let's do this.
Kanye West car accident, his diagnosis, I think he's misdiagnosed.
Me too. Oh, I think we all think that, right?
Yeah, yeah. Remember he had that concussion, that car accident. The jaw was in the back of his mouth. That's what's wrong with that guy. That is he. I remember I'll tell you later how I did it. But yeah, you bring me back on, man. I'll break it down to you. But yeah, it's those things that happen to us that people aren't paying attention to. They maybe had a car accident, could have been seemed minor. They got whiplash, a little concussion. It festers. You gotta get that inflammation out of there. That's what this thing is.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. William Person, thank you very much for being open and transparent.
absolutely.
Uh,
Thank you.
you guys are going to follow him, right? You guys, tell him James sent you. You're going to follow him and see what he's talking about. And we're going to pull this out together. I saw him back on the show again. A lot of sports talk about everything, and seriously, we're going to talk about stuff like this too. It's very important. It's all part of the sports world, like literally, it's part of the sports world. So I'll continue to devote my life to bringing these kind of stories out there for people to hear and to see. And if you at home, I got to make sure I say this, if you're at home feel like there's something off with you and you're wondering what's going on, I say go seek medical help, of course. But if you want some advice or want to talk to him or whatever, you can always message me and I can get you in touch with him somehow. And maybe he can have some questions for you because since William has gone through it, is going through it, he can tell you. But I want you to know you're not alone. And to all those out there who are feeling suicidal and don't know why, or just kind of like they're just like, I just feel this way forever. There is help, and you can always message me if you need to get somebody. Just get yourself out of it or whatever. And I can get you the right resources. I'll put it underneath the video too. It's there's a world out there for you. It's like this. You had an injury. You had an injury. You may have had a brain injury. That's what's causing this. And we want you here. We don't want you to go anywhere else until it's your time. I'm James Lott Jr. I'm everywhere too. I'm all over the place. Follow me at James Lott Jr. A lot of sports is everywhere too. From iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple. No more Google. They don't do that anymore. Castbox, these are I'm all over the place. Under a lot on sports. And again, that's two T's. Not one. I'm not a parking lot. I'm not an empty lot. I am James Lott Jr. See you next time.